Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wellbeing Brunching, a monthly event online that is going to bring you experts for your health and well-being. I am Nora. I am a well-being practitioner, helping people to change their lifestyle. I help with nutritional advice, movement practices like yoga, and personal training. And also, I add mindfulness practices like meditation, breathing, journaling, and so on, all for my clients to feel and live really happy and healthy. And today, True Vegan Body or Rita is joining me for the first ever Saturday Wellbeing Brunching. And Rita is an amazing person, really open-minded. I'm really happy to call her my friend. She has been vegan for over 30 years. And today she's gonna share her knowledge about living plant-based successfully, being an athlete. So I'm really excited. I hope you are. I'm giving the microphone back to Rita to introduce herself and tell us her story.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Nora. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm very excited. So my name is Ritta Wakim. I am 54 years old, a Lebanese athlete, and I'm the founder of the True Vegan Body. I have been 99% vegan for over 33 years. And by vegan, I mean the healthy vegan. And I will tell you what the 99% is. And by vegan, I mean the healthy vegan, not stuffing my fridge and myself with processed food. And I believe that to change is to live, and not to change is to die. Change is challenging, but it's not impossible. Like the word impossible is a word that does not exist in my dictionary. I think like everyone can do something. Impossible does not is not a word that I believe in. And I have succeeded in many ways in my life, yes, but I also have failed, and that is what makes me who I am today and where I am today with my experiences and with my knowledge. And I provide online coaching and consulting for people from around the world with the focus on how to easily and efficiently shift to a healthy vegan diet, coupled with full body and mind conditioning programs. I walk my talk. So everything I teach is what I do myself, I have done myself, and I still do myself. And I'm excited to hear all your questions, to answer all your questions, and yeah, to talk about it.
Great, thank you, Rita. And I have the first question for you that tell us your success story. I mean, you have been vegan for so many years, and there obviously around media there are some stories that people have gone vegan and then it hasn't worked for them. There are some horrible stories that people say. So could you share your success story, how you have managed to be vegan or plant-based and then really perform so well in life?
I started. Um, I actually used to eat meat and chicken a lot. I used to eat chicken a lot, and then I was 20 years old when I decided. I heard that chicken had hormones and meat had I don't know what else, and I decided, okay, overnight I'm stopping chicken, meat, and cold cuts. So I stopped everything that's meat, and I went. I felt actually with my training, I was into competition. I was in my middle of my taekwondo competitions, and I started feeling better with my flexibility in my training. And eventually, I was running, I doing half marathons and stuff, and the way I was following my vegan diet was wrong because I was not eating the right food for like a few years after I stopped. I was still eating a little bit of cheese on the pizza only, like when I have a pizza, I have it with cheese. That's why I call myself at the beginning 99% vegan. I used to have only cheese on the pizza when I have a pizza, which is not often, or if I go out and I have a dessert. And that was the only thing that I have as animal. I found that I had not much energy, and I was planning to run the Dead Sea Marathon, I remember, and I couldn't. I was training, I couldn't. So I ran the half marathon, and I started looking into how to improve. That was just in the first couple of years of my changing my diet. And I started looking into what I'm eating, how I'm eating, and how I'm changing my diet, and improved it into and like eating more grains, eating more nuts, not just like what we see like salads and going and processed food. So yes, over the years, learning how failing, like I said, failing in my diet, and I'm someone who likes to try things. So I've tried the raw diet, I've tried so many diets, and I don't believe one diet fits all. I think everyone has a different body, and you should follow what works for you and what you like. Like you might not like to eat this, but you like to eat that, and that works. You might not like to eat I don't know, a lot of food that you don't like. It doesn't matter. Just like exercise, there's so many exercises. If you don't like that exercise, you can do another one. So there is a lot of ways to stay healthy, but the basics is, and that's what I learned from my experience over the years, trying so many different diets, and even fasting, tried the fasting until I managed to actually I turned 100% vegan 6 years ago. So the 1% disappeared after 6 years ago, where I turned 100%. Uh, and the energy in my body changed when I stopped cheese, when I stopped the milk, when I stopped, like, the energy changed, my exercise changed, the competition. I was competing in taekwondo, and my trainer actually was like, my trainer and my teammates were like always challenging me, like, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to fight. And well, I fought, I won medals, got my trophies, and here I am. And like, I never listened to anyone. I always listened to my body. And this is what I actually teach anyone: listen to yourself, listen to your body. If you feel that that didn't work for you, something else could work. um, don't be challenged by anyone. Don't let anyone tell you you cannot do it, because I believe everyone can do what they put their mind to it. If you believe in it, you don't have to. You don't have to turn vegan. You don't have to turn vegetarian. If you just want to, there is a way to do it in a healthy way.
Great, thank you. And then thinking of like this, when you changed your diet into kind of a success, what you would suggest for somebody who is like now at the beginning of, this thought that they want to go plant-based? What would be like the successful beginning,
I,
like maybe some
I,
guidelines?
what I actually tried myself with sugar is when I cut off sugar, which is got nothing to do with vegan, but it's healthy. So what I did with sugar is that I set myself a goal of, like, I can only eat sugar on Sundays. So I have 6 days I'm not going to be eating any sugar, and on the seventh day I can eat as much sugar as I want. And you come on that day, and I cannot actually eat not even one, like even half of what I eat during the week. And this is eventually, the 1 week got to 10 days, got to 2 weeks, got to 3 weeks, until I stopped completely sugar. And that's one way of changing a habit of something in your food. Like, you don't have to go drastic. Some people go drastic. I'm someone who can go drastic, like I cut off and that's it. But some people cannot do that. Some people need to shift into the healthy diet slowly. Like, what you can do is cut out one thing, and then cut out another thing, and that, test it and see how you go by that. And when you get used to not eating that food, then you can go and cut out something else. So some people you need to cut off slowly. Some people you can go drastic, but you don't have to go drastic. One thing I would suggest, though, to be drastic with, is eating processed food. Processed food has got to be out of your diet on a daily basis. It can be occasional, I'm not saying I don't eat, I don't know, whatever, like something, French fries or something every once in a while, but it is not part of my diet. It is not part of my diet. So this is the way to go, is to clean up your diet in a way where you can sustain it, and not just be for like 1 week or 2 weeks, but in a way where you can sustain it for a long term. So it's not also, it's not a punishment. Like you pick food that you like to eat, it's not a punishment, and it's, you start step by step. If it's not for you to start drastically, like turning over completely overnight like I did. So I hope I answered your question, Nora.
Yeah, I'm great. We also have a couple of questions coming in. Before we switch to the questions, I just to make sure that I understood you right. So what you are suggesting is to maybe designate, if somebody wants to try out vegan or plant-based, to designate a couple of days of being plant-based in the week, and then see testing out if these days can
uh,
increase.
I don't know. I wouldn't. No, I don't think they would get the feeling of the eating healthy if they just do it twice a week. Now, vegan is different from like healthy vegan. I'm saying you can turn vegan and keep eating twice a week, yes. But if you're gonna turn healthy vegan, I believe you need to give yourself 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Like tell yourself, I have these 3 weeks to eat healthy. And because you will not feel a change in your body before 10 days or 12 days. Myself, I recommend, if you want to cut out something, it's not twice a day, twice a week, or like 2 days in the week. No, I'd rather do 10, 12 days in a row, and then you feel it in your body, or 3 weeks if you can. Set yourself a goal. I have this 1 month of not eating whatever, and see how it goes. And I guarantee you, after 1 month, you will feel a change. But
Okay.
not 2 days in the week. No, for me, it doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for people, not for me. I mean, in general.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I see. So also kind of these questions might relate to the topic. So you mentioned the cutting the sugar, and we had a question of if it also means the fruit sugar, that the natural sugar from fruits.
No, no. I mean the sugar, the white sugar. I mean the processed, the white sugar, the sweets, the cookies, um, the sugar itself. Because I was someone, I didn't drink tea with sugar. I used to put the tea in the sugar pot. That was how much I used to have sugar. Like it's not like 1 spoon in the teacup. No, I used to the tea in the sugar cup. So that's like, it was really like I had a sweet tooth. Believe me, I had an extreme sweet tooth, and that's why I like cut it off. I couldn't just have. My mom can have 1 square of chocolate, and I cannot. If I want to have 1 square of chocolate, I have to have the whole the whole bar of chocolate. So I have. And I still do. If I want to have chocolate, I have it, and then I don't feel guilty about it, and I eat it, and I enjoy it, and it's done, right? So it's, yeah, it's
Yes, yes,
yeah.
I can agree. Like that's my like, if I have something to add from my also experience, I also have extremely crazy sweet tooth. So I used to be really addicted to sugar, and it took me some time to convince myself to cut it out for some time. And I also, the way you mentioned, I also did it. It was, I think it was just before my 30th birthday, some years ago, when I said to myself, okay, I want to be the healthiest for my birthday. And then I think I had like a 30 days till the actual day. So I said, okay, on the birthday, I'm going to have a cake. And then these 30 days, I'm not going to have anything with the sugar except fruit. So fruit was completely allowed. I also don't see anything bad in the actual fruit sugar, which is comes from fruit when you eat the actual fruit, not derived, not the white stuff that is derived from the sugar or from the fruit, but the
Exactly.
actual fruit, an actual orange, actual banana. So whenever I really crave something sweet, I would eat orange or two or a pineapple, whatever I could substitute my cravings with.
Yes.
So
I
yeah,
some
that's on that.
some some people tell me, but how can you eat bananas? Banana is fattening. And I'm like, banana is not fattening. You eat a banana, but you don't eat a piece of, you eat a piece of bread, but you don't eat a banana. A banana is healthier than a piece of bread, like the flour in the bread, you know.
Definitely, I agree. I completely agree. I completely agree with the same. And also, if I could add to this, um, in general, like any type of a switch, I would recommend thinking more of micronutrients, which are vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, what actual food contains, and just trying to eat the best option of the nutrient packed
Can I
food.
add something to that? Because
Yeah.
that would sound, from my experience, it sounds complicated to people. They don't want to look into the food what it has. They don't, and I was one of them. I didn't want to care. I don't want to measure if I'm eating 100 grams or 200 grams. I don't want to measure. I don't want to deal. So basically, what I learned is that if I eat a complete diet during the week, if I eat from everything, if I'm eating all the grains, if I'm eating healthy fruits, if I'm eating like all the colors as well, green, red, everything, I am getting, I mean, as much as possible, the vitamins and the minerals and the amino acids that are in the food. Because then you have a complete, and I tested my diet many years later. I had a test calculating what I am, just because somebody asked me. And it turned out to be a complete diet. And I think that's why I built muscles, and that's why I have my energy and everything. That was, I think, because it's challenging sometimes to people. I don't know what this food had. I don't want to ask. I don't want to look into it and everything. So it
Yes,
doesn't
it
have
is
to
a
be.
good point. Good point. But also, just as you mentioned,
It is important.
simply just seeing the whole food as a whole and trying to
Yes.
do as less processed. And then going on to one of the topics that we are going to look into, you mentioned the body mass and the muscle mass. So, what are your suggestions for losing weight, losing fat, and maintaining and building muscle?
The way I maintained my body shape through my diet is by eating, is by lowering the fat. It doesn't matter if it's a good fat or a bad fat. Fat is fat. So, and I learned that from my own experience. I used to eat also like a lot of fat, and then when I dropped the fat, um, my body leaned. And although I was lean, and I was competing, and I was like everything. But then when I cut down the fat, the amount of almonds I've eaten during the day, the amounts of avocados, olive oil. I used to have the salad with olive oil like this because I love olive oil. But then I realized I'm eating a lot of fat. And I want cut down the fat, my body shifted. It shifted into yes, Lydia. It shifted into a more energy and leaner. I got leaner. And then that's for the leaning part. And the muscle mass is just eating proper grains, brown rice, buckwheat, like eating a complete diet. I never looked into and exercising, just eating the food without working your muscles. Actually, sorry, my battery is dying. Actually, you don't build muscles. You need to exercise in order to build your muscles. So building the muscles comes from exercising your muscles properly, in a proper way, and eating properly. So there is not, and definitely no protein powders. I have tried the protein powders; they didn't work for me, and they gave me stomach aches, and they have so much crap in them. Sorry, forgive my French, but it's just so unhealthy for your body. It is, and I've tried it. I used to take not even the recommended amount. They recommend 3 cups or whatever, like 1/3 of the amount, and I had stomach pain. It didn't help me in my body shape. When I cut off all this and I cleaned it up more and more, cleaned up my diet more and more, and ate more. I eat like on a weekly basis: lentils, chickpeas, beans, mung beans, black beans, brown rice, buckwheat, um, almonds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds. I eat all this on a weekly basis, and all this have everything you need for your body, everything you need for your muscles. And eating that is giving you, and when you eat a complete diet, you get the complete amino acids from the proteins. And they say that they tell you, yeah, but the meat has some food that has something that you didn't have in the that you don't have in the vegetable protein. I don't believe that. I believe that everything you have, everything you can find in the animal food you can have, and you can find, I'm a living example. You can find it in the vegetable. I'm not a doctor by any means, but I'm definitely a living experience. B12. B12 is one of the things that I missed actually. Sorry, I just saw it, but it's related. Sorry, Nora, I took over. But
It's
because
perfect. It's perfect. I was just going to say it.
yeah, because thank you, because I struggled with that, and I thought I needed to take a pill, and a B12 pill, and I did take B12 pills. I did used to do treatments, if you want, like 1 month of B12. But that actually, you can find B12 in some of the food that you eat, and in the there's a one, it's like wheat. It's a Lebanese, it's called friki has B12. Friki has B12. This is one of the food that has B12. And you can find like there's like two or three other. I And to be honest, I used to be anemic when I was not vegetarian. I used to be anemic all my life. My mom used always to give me iron pills. When I turned vegetarian and then vegan, I haven't had any issues with anemia, like for like forever. I don't remember when was the last time. And B12, like I said, it's that grain. I can't remember. I don't know what you call it in English. It's called friki. I don't know. It's part of wheat. It's from wheat.
Maybe you can find it like at the end of it, and then we can tell Amy
Definitely.
what is
I know.
the
Share it.
grain.
Definitely. Definitely.
And then,
Definitely.
since you touched about being anemic and iron deficiency, Lydia previously mentioned this. So maybe you can tell what are the foods and what are your suggestions for
Yes, yes,
increasing.
yes, yes. Yes, thank you. Spinach, all greens have iron, like spinach. I don't know how you call them in English. Spinach, parsley for sure, coriander. There's some called mluchia. I don't. It's a family of spinach family. So basically, if you eat greens, you are compensating for your iron. If you eat lentils, you're compensating for your iron. And if you sprout your lentils, that's even 500 times more. So, and then, but then again, when you have 1 teaspoon of sugar, you decrease your immunity by for 24 hours. Your immunity is down by for 24 hours. So no matter what you eat, your immunity is going down. So that's why I say it's a mix by with eating everything. It's not just one thing. Like I don't just stop this and not eat this. It's like that's why Nora, when you suggested that only 2 days a week, I don't think it's the way to do it. So so iron, you have greens, you have lentils, and these are the main things you can add to your diet. If you don't want not to eat, then you don't need to eat any supplements. Of course, there's other things that you can that has iron, but these are the main things you can eat on a daily basis.
Thank you. And then if I can just add to it is also the combining the iron with something that has a vitamin C in it, which is then in the greens. Obviously, greens itself contain vitamin C, and if you add a lemon juice to it, or if you eat it with other fruits, it's just gonna, it's a synergy of iron and vitamin C. And trying not to, like in a vegan diet is like self-explanatory, but lactose and like dairy products also interfere with absorption of iron, and then that's
Absolutely.
also kind of interferes of having, when you have spinach, maybe try not to have it with the cheese or with a in a, like, let's say, a cream sauce or anything like that.
See, what I'm saying is I'm not counting that they're eating cheese or cream, but actually on another note, when you have the greens have calcium. the greens, they tell you that they tell me that you need dairy products to keep your bones strong, but actually it's the greens that give you vitamin D, that give you not vitamin D, that give you calcium. I mean, not vitamin D. It's the greens that give you calcium. So the more greens you eat, and on a greens in their fresh form, not cooked and dead. If you want to put it on fire, like don't boil it, like don't kill it. So if you can eat it in a salad or something, or in soups.
And then we have a question that Maria asks if she eats a lot of dates and there is a natural sugar in it, would that interfere with iron? What's your opinion on that?
Dates are very tricky because dates in the market have added sugar. So dates originally in the market have added sugar. So it actually brings your sugar levels up, and it interferes with everything in your system. If you can find the dates that are organic, not just organic, I don't like anymore that word organic because it's too much marketing with that, but like if you like really the fresh dates that are not sugar added, that don't have sugar added, then actually it's, I don't think it interferes with your diet. No, I don't think it interferes with the, but I eat a lot of dates, but I pick the dates. I know actually my body became like a measurement for myself, because if I eat dates that have sugar, I can feel it. I can feel the sugar shooting up, the insulin shooting up in my body. I feel it. I feel there's a lot of sugar in the dates. So the natural dates, I personally think they're very good for you.
Yes, and I could agree as well. And like dried fruits, obviously in the moderation, they also have
Yes.
loads of nutrients in them, like dates, and I think figs themselves contain
Yes,
iron.
but also there is sugar added to them, so you have to really be careful which ones you get, because especially the figs and the dates, there is sugar added, and you can see the layer. The dates, you cannot see the layer. The dates, they become very smooth when you touch them, and they're like this. These are sugar added.
It
But
usually should be marketed like there should be some notification on the packaging. And then like I know that figs are a little bit tricky to understand because there is also natural sugar that develops on the outside of the fig when they are dried. So just keeping an eye for the quality product and
yeah.
no, without added sugar. And then
You're muted, Nora. You're muted, Nora.
I'm sorry, I muted myself without realizing it. So continuing on the topic with exercising and performance and building the muscle. So what is your suggestion for the diet for really active people who want to perform well, and also for active not only in the, let's say, in the sport performance, but also that lead active life for the energy balance and so on. Thank you.
I would, my recommendation is to have fruits, not have fruits in the morning, not late at night. Have them in the morning. It gives you energy to start your day. Have lemon with water. Lemon with water in the morning before eating anything else actually cleans up the liver, revives the liver. It gives you energy to start the day. And then you have fruits, and then you have you're asking me for what food to eat for exercise, right? Like to keep the energy going. Sorry,
Yes. So
what
for
to eat during
the
a day.
maybe I asked it a little bit confusing. So for the sports performance, and then if you can also include for people who are just active and need this energy balance.
Okay, thank you. So having carbs is very important because it's carb that give you the energy, not the protein. So if you eat, which means carbs means sweet potatoes, rice, um, uh, yeah. So these are carbs, energetic oats, wheat. If you don't have any, of course, if you don't have any wheat allergy or any other allergy. So this is, you need the carbs for your, the low carb diets are not for exercise. These are not for a healthy life in general. They are not. So you need to eat carbs. Protein, not a high protein, because what they tell you about having a high protein diet to build your muscles and to have energy, this is just not correct. We don't need as much protein as they advertise. We don't need as much protein as they tell us we need. That's why people keep taking their protein powders. You don't need that. You need more carbs than you need protein. I'm not saying you don't need protein, no, but the piece of protein, the portion of protein that should be, it should, yes, the portion of protein should be 1/3 of the carbs. Like you have rice, let's say, around the plate, and a little bit of lentils in the middle, or a piece of fish or something in the middle. It's not a big fish and a small piece of potatoes. It's the other way around. Um, yes, so that's for lunch or for dinner. For dinner, I personally eat one meal a day. I'd eat not one meal. I do intermittent fasting. I've been doing intermittent fasting for about 6 years now. I fast from 18 to 20 hours a day, and I found that my energy actually peaked through the ceiling when I started doing that. I used to fast, but not that much. So I would say, if you have fruits, for sure, you have carbs, as in rice, wheat, oats, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes is excellent. Sweet potatoes is excellent for the muscles, for athletic performances, and then vegetables, a salad. If you don't like raw vegetables, or if you have sensitive to raw vegetables, you can just, what I do, actually, I don't cook the greens. I'll give you a tip of what I do. I boil water, I put it in a pot, and I just put the greens in it, and I cover it and let it soak there. And then they're not cooked at high fire, right? At high temperatures, and they kind of cook a little bit. They're not raw, and they're not dead. I didn't do the same with broccoli and the cauliflower. Excuse me. Cauliflower and broccoli, the same thing. You can so yeah, eating vegetables, eating all kinds of vegetables, because when you have a variety through the week, I'm not saying in one day, but like over the week, if you plan your diet, when you go to the when you go grocery shopping, plan your diet, plan your list to have from everything, so that all over the week you have eggplants, zucchini, cauliflower, broccoli, spinach, coriander, parsley, everything. But one very important thing is to have everything in season. Like, it's very important to have what is in season. Like, sometimes the greens are not available in winter or in summer. You have something else. So have seasonal food as well. That's a very important point, actually. And
Great.
don't eat late. Don't eat late before you go to bed.
Great. I have an extra question about the ratio that you mentioned. Lydia is asking if 50 carbs, 30 fat, and 20% protein is the recommended, like you would recommend this ratio, or anything else?
30 carbs, 20. Yeah, could be. To be honest, I don't have a set. Ratio, but I would say yes. More carbs. Yes. So the ratio you recommended, yes, it would work for me. It would work. 50, 30, 20, or 50, 20, 30 sometimes, but definitely more carbs than fat, and then protein. Definitely. Definitely.
Great. And we have more questions coming out about the fasting. Can you talk a little bit more about the fasting, and also if you do like fasting on the water, or you do just intermittent fasting?
I do. And actually, today I'm fasting. I'm fasting today 24 hours. And what I do with the 24 hours fasting, I just have herbal tea, which doesn't affect the body system, and water. I drink plenty of water, and herbal tea. The intermittent fasting, I started with doing 16 hours, and it's very easy. We think that it's complicated. I started it for health reasons. I do everything for health reasons. So I started veganism. I started eating vegan for health reasons. So not for not for anything else. So anyway, yes, for fasting, I started with doing 16 hours, and so basically I cut out the breakfast. I stop eating maybe at 6 o'clock, and then I eat again the next morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. But having said that, I don't punish myself. If I go out at night and I have a drink or something at midnight, I'm not going to punish myself the next morning and tell myself, oh, I have 16 hours tomorrow, I cannot eat before 4 p.m. No, if I want to eat in the morning, I eat. And that's a day where I just didn't fast 18 hours, 16 hours, 16, 14 hours. So basically it's not a punishment. If you feel 12 hours work for you to start, do 12 hours. Yeah, I started with 16 hours, but when I first break my fast, I do not eat something heavy. I start with eating something fresh, and I usually have tea, something hot, or lemon and water, and fruits. Always, every day, when I break my fast, I'm having fruits and something liquid, and then that's the first. I don't call them meals, so it's like a snack if you want. And then I have some nuts, almonds or something, and then I have my main meal, which every day it consists of either buckwheat and lentils, or rice and lentils, or potatoes with the vegetables, or every day, like it's like the main meal. And then I stop eating. I have my meal maybe 4 o'clock. If I have it at 3 o'clock, then I have something else at 5 o'clock. So basically, I do the 16 hours. Now I've been doing 18 and 20 hours just because it's happening. It's not like I'm doing it on purpose. So yeah,
Yeah.
and yes, the water fasting. Yes, like I said, I'm doing it today, but
Yes,
no
I
dry
can,
fasting.
and I could also agree on the same. I have the same experience. So for me, I synchronize my water fasting or also the herbal teas that I include, just like doesn't have a natural caffeine in them. So just the caffeine-free teas. I synchronize them with the moon calendar, which is just my personal preference. So I fast on the new moon day and the full moon day. These are also like emotionally charged days and so on. So and usually I try to also, like a tip, try to make them busy for myself, like uh, have something scheduled so I'm not coming into the kitchen, or I have a free time of thinking to go to the kitchen or anything. So that's a personal tip from me. And also about the intermittent fasting, I could definitely agree. I have the same experience. And actually, for many people, also my clients that have switched to intermittent fasting and just adjusting the hours of their meals have helped tremendously. And just like having a dinner at 5 or 6, and then just starting sometime at 10 works perfectly for many people, and also myself the same thing.
I want
And
to add.
then
I want to add one thing, Nora. Sorry, because there's a lot. I think maybe I think some of you would think that this is very important to say that when you are fasting, especially when you do 24 hours fasting, it's eating processed food in the next 24 hours is very bad for your system. It's like as if you didn't fast at all. Second of all, in the intermittent fasting, when you eat all the keto diet, like I'm not against, I am against the keto diet because there's so much. It's a huge amount of fat to your liver, and this is really bad for your liver. So eating a healthy diet is very important for having an intermittent fasting, because if you are fasting, your body is going clean, it's cleaning up, the toxins are going away. And then when you give it crap food, you're just challenging your body too much, and it's like you didn't fast at all. Depends what's your goal from the fasting as well. And one more thing, and it's very important for our discussion about, maybe we'll talk about it later, the hormonal thing. Maybe I can
we
mention
are
it
we are
now.
gonna take it there. I just before I ask you the question that Jessica is asking, um, just to add to it, it's really important, and I learned it from my experience. I made so many bad mistakes when I'm fasting. For like, I have been fasting for a day, 3, 5 water fast. Like, I think 5 is my maximum that I have gone, and I have made very bad mistakes because it's kind of a ripple effect. You get clean, and then something the next day goes wrong, and I ate the wrong thing, or I didn't plan it really well to kind of go through this food adjustment period after the fasting, and then it goes wrong. So I would recommend also to plan the next day some light meal like steamed veggies, maybe like the wholesome foods that you actually want to like. I try to see the next day as like, this is how my ideal diet should look like. So doing my best to eat the best diet I could think of myself for at least the day or the next day, and trying to not eat maybe directly like fatty foods, also like managing a little bit of oil, amount of oil like the next day after the fasting, and then slowly going into the normal rhythm of eating. And then going into continuing the intermittent fasting topic, Jessica says, so how is about skipping breakfast? How do you get the energy for the day? Because and this is actually really common. Many of us, most of us, have been told that the breakfast is the main meal and you shouldn't be skipping it at all. What is your take on that?
I was someone who couldn't. I used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning because my work started at 5:30. I was someone who believed, like we all believe, that I needed to eat something before I start my day. Otherwise, I cannot function. So I used to have a breakfast at 5 o'clock, at 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. before I leave to go to work. When I started intermittent fasting, and that's, believe me, I used to have breakfast for many years, and I work out in the morning and everything. When I started intermittent fasting, I used to go work out without having eaten, and my energy levels was double of what my energy level was when I eat. When you eat, actually your body is going, your system is digesting, you're digesting the food, so your energy goes there. It's not in your body to exercise or to run, whatever. So basically now I cannot eat before exercising, and not before exercise. Like I cannot. I'd rather train when I'm still during the fast. And skipping breakfast is become like one of my, like I don't eat before 12 o'clock. I don't eat. If I've eaten at 6, now I'm fasting 18 hours, 20 hours. I just don't eat before 11, 12. I don't know. So actually, my energy level shot up the ceiling rather than when I used to eat breakfast.
And
That's
I
my
could
answer.
just add to it, it's the same my experience as well. I my preference is like I either do yoga in the morning, or I do high intensity interval trainings, which are really intense. And the best experience I have ever had is to do it while I'm in the intermittent fasting and eating
Absolutely.
after.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
continuing from here, continuing the healthy hormones topic. You said that you had something to add, and which is a
I
very
wanted to
important.
say, yes, I wanted to say that uh, I was asked, actually, after I had been fasting for 4 years. And somebody asked me, somebody who is into the intermittent fasting, and he knows about it, and he knows about it a lot, and he said to me, but there are research that hormonal changes for women, and the women shouldn't be fasting for 16 hours. They should more women should be fasting only for 14 hours. Have you had any hormonal issues? And I said, no, I never felt anything. Actually, I feel better doing the 16. And he's like, okay. And then I thought, okay, let me look into it. And there's a lot of talk on the internet about women should only do 14 hours. Now, I'm not a doctor. I am not a researcher or a scientist or anything. I just listen to my body and I see the people around me who have been doing the fasting. The 16 hours is what worked for me. I did the 14 hours. It didn't work for me. I didn't feel the same effect on my body, even the 12 hours. 16 and 18 hours worked for me. No hormonal problems at all. I didn't feel any. Actually, I feel better. No hormonal problems whatsoever. So what I wanted to say is, if you somebody tells you or you hear that 14 hours is need only women need only to do 14 hours, I don't agree with that. You do what works for your body, because something else could work for you.
And I have a question. What is your take on how to go, like how to start with intermittent fasting, if to like try first 10, then switch to 12 or 14, and how to arrange the, the day schedule and like a daily routine?
I say you can, and I work that with some of my clients, start with doing 12 hours, because sometimes 14 hours is scary. And I started it actually with a man. It was a man, it's not a woman. And he wanted to lose weight, and he said to me, I want to lose 9 kilos, and my doctor is telling me I need to lose 9, 10 kilos, and I'm not being able to. And I did exercise and I'm sorry, diet, and it's not working. I said, okay, do you want to do the intermittent fasting? He's like, yeah, I cannot fast for 12 hours. I like, okay, how many hours do you sleep? He said 8 hours. I said, okay. After you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, what time do you eat last? He's like, at 6 o'clock or something. I said, okay. What time do you wake up? You're already fasting 12 hours. So when you wake up in the morning, it's just when you tell them 12 or 13. So mainly when you before bed, or when you're watching TV at 9 p.m., don't binge on anything. Like, don't have like one apple or a little bit of nuts. Don't eat anything. Then you'll be doing 12 hours. So basically, what I would recommend, start with 12 hours. That's easy. It's really easy if you put your mind to it. And then when that works, and you get used to not eating breakfast or just skipping dinner. Some people like to skip dinner and eat breakfast. It works for them. Then do that and add 2 hours. Add and do it 14 and see how it works for you. Or do 12 hours 3 days a week, and then do 14 hours 3 days a week, and then don't fast for one day. You can do that. With the fasting, you can play with 2 days in the week, 3 days in the week, not with the diet. I don't think the diet, you can do that. Remember what I said before. But with the fasting, you can. I think you can. So you can
Uh,
start slowly.
Yes, and also my experience is the same. When you start thinking of how you eat already and trying to understand what are the hours that actually you don't eat, you realize that you have a quite significant amount of hours that you are already not eating. And then
Yes.
just planning like the last meal, let's say if you try to eat early dinner, which is, let's say you eat at 6, so your kind of a fasting starts about 7ish. So you count from the 7, and if you wake up at 6 or 7, it's already 12 hours. So from then on, what you can do, you're just not eating another 2 hours. So you count how much time it takes for you to take shower, get prepared, and so on, so on. So
Yes.
it might be already more than 12 hours itself. And
See,
then also preparing, just a second before I
yeah,
forget.
yeah, yeah.
uh,
Sorry,
and
I have
then
too much to say.
I will just a second.
Yeah,
So that, and also, on the psychological, I know for some people and also for me, it has been a little bit of a stressful. Like, what am I gonna be like now? Hungry, and I'm gonna, not have any food, or what am I gonna do? So just having a little bit of a plan for yourself. I don't know, while you're still in the morning, making I don't know, a smoothie, or having, I don't know, a small packet of nuts. Like, I used to carry nuts everywhere. I still do, actually. So just having this psychological safety that if I cannot go on anymore, if I like,
yeah.
I have to stop by 12 or 14 hours, I have something, I have a handful of nuts, and I'm not going to go on starvation. I know it's just a psychological, thought in the head that sometimes works this way. So yeah. Add what you wanted to say, Rita.
I wanted to say that actually, when I do the 24 hours fasting, if I stop eating at 7 p.m., sometimes I end up doing 35 hours or 36 hours, because if I stop at 7 or I stop at 8 and 8 at night, and I don't want to eat at night, and I feel good, I'm not feeling tired, I link it to the next morning. So that adds 6, 7, 8 hours. Yeah, I end up doing like 34, 35 hours. And I've done it a couple of times. So, and the first hours are the hardest. When you get used to the hunger, it goes away, and that's it. It passes. After a few hours, it passes. If you want to try the 24 hours.
Um, Great. Following with the next topics is how is it, because I know you work a lot with people over 40.
Yes.
What is your recommendation for people who have been eating, and also it goes for everyone, if you have been eating more than 20, 30 years, like the normal diet of like every single product, dairy, meat, fruits, plants, and so on. What is your recommendation, for the switch of becoming a vegan, and for the kind of hormonal balances and menopause as well?
First thing is, be kind to yourself and be patient. Be kind to yourself and be patient. The hormonal change. If you've been eating animal, now the problem with the not the problem, the issues for women over 40 when eating have been eating animal products from when they're kids. We get to the age of 40, our body, because animal products have hormones in them, have more hormones than plants. So the body has been fluctuating and playing with the hormones. When you get to close to menopause, the body is still used to it. That's why when you get to premenopausal or menopausal, when the body stops producing the estrogen, and you have a cut in your like a change in your hormone. This is why you have the hormonal. That's how you have your menopause symptoms. But if you have trained your body to eat less hormones, when you get to the menopause, you arrive to the menopause and you have smooth sail through it. Now, my recommendation over 40 is to start eating, to cutting down animal like meats and dairies is the number one. Milk and dairies is the number one you need to cut, because it's pasteurized, and it's the way it's processed in the body, the way the dairies are processed in the body is fluctuates with the hormones a lot. So first, my recommendation would be to cut off, not cut down, cut off dairies and milk, and cut down on the chicken and meat if you want. I mean, I would say cut it off, but if you cannot, you just cut down on it. Basically, cut down on animal products, animal food, and start eating more vegetables, because the more fiber you have in your liver, the more your food is recycled, the better the food is recycled. And the better the food is recycled, the less hormonal disbalance, the less hormonal, not disbalance, the hormonal work there is in the body. So basically, the less symptoms you have. So what I would recommend, again, I would say greens, have a lot of greens, decrease the animal fat, decrease fat in general, and decrease the animal products. Now, you have to be patient with yourself, because it takes about 3 weeks for your body to start feeling a difference. It takes longer for you if you are if you are in menopause, premenopause. It takes a little bit longer for you to feel a difference. So be kind to yourself. Give yourself 6 months. I don't know, but you will start feeling from the 3-4 weeks. You start feeling a difference in your body. You start feeling your body is less stressed, because to digest and to process the animal products, it takes a lot of energy from the body. So when you start cutting down that already, your digestive system is going to be better, your sleep is going to be better, your exercise is going to be, so you would feel better. But and it takes, like I said, 2-3 weeks for you to feel better about it, and then but give yourself longer If you are closer to 50, you even have to give yourself longer because you've been longer on a longer journey, eating whatever we've been eating our lives, you know. I don't know, did I answer your question completely or no?
I just had a one additional bit. How is it for men, like to switch
Oh,
and kind of balance their hormone? Because for some in some of the media there is information like, oh man, they do need more protein, but they has to come from animals, to maintain the manliness and so on. So what is your experience? Because I know you have worked with a lot of men as well.
I have worked with a lot of men, yes, and this it's the same like the women. Now the men have a heavier structure. It's not like the women. Yes, it's true, but no, they don't need. They need their protein shakes, and I need this to build their muscles and look good in front of the mirror. But that's not for their, and it's for their ego, but not for their. And I'm not being mean here. It's true. They don't need that much protein, and the men I've worked with, um, the experience I've had with them, they have kept their muscles and lost fat and got healthy. We have a man in the room. And they kept their they actually have a but they change into a better body shape. And the hormonal change in men's body is just like the women. They have the prostate in the man is where the hormonal fluctuation goes. And that goes from processed food, from protein shakes. If you take the bucket of protein shake, protein powder, if you read the ingredients, please tell me if you understand, other than wheat protein or whatever, if you understand one word from the ingredients. This is all chemicals, and this is what brings the muscle, grows the muscle, if you want, like bulks the muscle. And I'm obviously not for that.
I have
So
a little bit to add. Like now, there are some brands that are really conscious about it. So I am standing behind a couple of vegan protein brands, which are now doing very natural things, which is like for very busy. I don't recommend it for everyone, but I do suggest it for busy people and people who are exercising really a lot. I do recommend some of the shakes, which are actually the ingredients. When you turn around, you can recognize them, which is like sprouted peas protein, flax seeds, hemp seeds, rice protein. So there are brands out there that are also good and don't have any chemicals, especially if you buy like unflavored, which are just that, just
I per-
the grains.
I personally wouldn't to my clients, I wouldn't advise for anything in a box. I wouldn't myself. I mean, and not, but I wouldn't recommend to have anything in a box. It's enough for them in the food. Even athletes training, I had a guy that used to train with me, and he was just like 30, 31. And so he needs a lot of energy, a lot of food to eat. And he like the diet he went on, um, when he accepted to get on the diet, because his doctor was telling him this and telling him that, and then he accepted to follow the diet I gave him. He lost weight. His cholesterol dropped below level, and within 1 month, less than 4 weeks, without anything extra. And he kept it up, and his shape is completely different. And he trains like an idiot. He didn't used to train that much before. He started doing so many, like, martial arts, high intensity running. Like, he trains like five hours a day. So and they tell you, okay, that's only one person. Yeah, but it's not. That's my own personal, because this is how I am. I'm for completely nothing in the box.
And yes, I get this, your point of view. For most of it, I am the same. But for the protein shakes, I have found personally for me, they work very well, especially because I'm a smoothie person. And like smoothie a day, especially during the warm seasons, is like a must. This because otherwise I'm just not getting all of the nutrients in.
Yeah.
So for me, it has been like my smoothie is actually the one of the meals, if you want to call it this way. So I have found it works for me very good, but obviously it needs to be like, even if like somebody is looking for it, there are brands, and you just need to look for the good ones that are also like, there are very very good now ones that if you want the recommendation, you can ask me. I believe for some people it can work, but there is no one correct answer for everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no one size fits all. I 100%.
I think we are slowly coming to the end of our discussion. If you have any questions, we have one question from Maria. Rita,
Protein.
where is your protein coming from? Tell us, please.
My protein comes from lentils, beans, brown rice has protein, avocados have protein, almonds, walnuts, um, chickpeas, split peas, everything has protein. And again, you don't need as much protein as they tell you. You don't need that much protein. You can sustain. And honestly, when I keep my muscle mass, um, and at my age, they tell you start losing muscles at your age, at after 50, after 30, after 40. And I keep my muscle mass, I keep my energy, and just by like the amount of protein that I eat, that is not huge actually. It's not huge, and the liver will thank you for it, because otherwise the high protein, see, the amount of protein that is not processed, that is not used for the body, stays in the liver, and it makes the liver struggle. The liver is our recycling bin. So anything that goes into the liver is there, and if it doesn't come out, then it stays there and it makes it struggle. I hope I answered
Um,
your question. Because I talk so much that I don't know if I answer the question at the end.
Tell us the feedback. Is the question answered? And then please, now we are both spotlighted. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask question live, you are more than welcome to ask. We are gonna do our best to answer it. I see
Yeah,
people.
maybe I go for it straight away.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in that fasting. And as you said, most of the time you're already fasting for like 12, maybe even 13, 14 hours. And I'm wondering what exactly counts to fasting. So you said you're a smoothie person yourself. I would count myself as a smoothie person as well. So if I have a smoothie in the morning, does that count as food? or is that no food because I'm actually not chewing it, I'm just drinking?
Rita, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take this one and then you add.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
so for me, smoothie counts as a food, and I make smoothies like really a meal. So which just contains fruits, sometimes avocado, also the plant-based protein, but it's me. You don't have to use it. I also do my own personal health situation. I have autoimmune disease, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So I do use superfoods that support my thyroid. So I also include those in the smoothie, and I count it as a meal. So smoothie usually is the point when I break my fast.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know, Rita, if you have anything to
I,
answer.
it's perfect. What you said is perfect and it's true. What I would add is what I'm gonna add to the question as an answer is that what counts, what what you should only be having to be counted as a fast is either water or tea, or tea that is doesn't have any like Nora said, no caffeine in it. Or actually you can have some fast, and I do. You can have coffee. You can have coffee. You can have black coffee. So some people say you can have the coffee. Some people say you cannot. I personally do have the black coffee, but not on a regular basis, but it's one option. Now, if you start, one tip I give you, if you start doing the fasting and you feel that you're low energy or you're getting dizzy or something because your body is not used to not having the food, and you're in a hot, if you are in a hot weather or something, you can put a little bit of salt on your hand and lick it off, because you would need some sodium to get your energy up. Then if you don't want to break the fast, but then again, you can break the fast if you feel tired. But these are just some tips to keep you going during the fast.
Okay, thank you. And then one more question. You said it takes around 3 to 4 weeks until you are able to feel a difference in your body. Maybe that's a stupid question, but for myself, I see my body more that it is functioning, and I don't know how to feel that it actually feels better now. Is there any recommendation on how you're able to connect more with your body so that you can feel these changes?
First of all, there is no stupid question. There is no stupid question. Um, you just be aware of myself. I am aware of how my skin feels every day. I'm aware of how my hair feels every day, how my nails. This is a sign. How, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you might see a change in your legs, because that would show, or your stomach, it would show less, like a leaner. That's why I say be kind to yourself, because when you look at yourself in the, okay, that's going to be a good, I've never said this before, just clicked in my head. When you look at yourself in the mirror, don't look at what you didn't do. Look at what you just accomplished in the past day or two, or probably 2 weeks. What I mean by that, if you have lost a little bit of fat, or if you have seen a change, slight change in your body, this is what I mean. You feel it in your body, you feel the change. So don't look at, oh, I haven't lost my, I don't know, sorry, I don't know, I haven't seen you, so I don't know. I'm just giving an example randomly. I haven't lost this little bit of fat on my stomach, and I still have a long way to go. No, look at the part of your stomach that actually have leaned down, has leaned down. So basically, look at the positive that's changing in your body. And if you start doing that, looking at your face in the mirror and seeing the change, you will start seeing the change in your body. But you have to look at it. You have to look at it. Now, I'm someone who's always felt, I've always been aware of how my body functions, and so, but this is how I do it. This is how I do it. Like if I look at my legs, let's say, and I see they're dried, and I'm like, okay, this is not because I need to put cream. No, there's dryness in my legs because there's something from inside that is drying my legs. You know what I mean? So it's not I use lotion and then it's gone. Okay, no, there's something that I need to do. So I drink more water, I eat more fruit, etc., etc. Does it make sense?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I
And
think
I
that's
also,
like being more aware and mindful about your body and taking a look at it, and also learning how to feel into it. As I said, like for me, it's more functioning, and it has to work. There's no way around it. But yeah, I got to be more aware of
But
the
aware
smaller
of the
things.
positive, aware of the positive change, not the negative change,
Mhm.
not the negative, because the negative is what didn't change. The positive is what changed. So look at that. Look for what you see and don't ignore it.
Mhm.
and also if I could
Thank you.
add to this, you can have yourself like a journaling type of a process that you kind of develop a little bit of a checklist, depending, of course, what are your goals, why are you doing it, or what you want to change. So you could have, a few bullet points of what is important for you. I don't know, for somebody who is wanting to lose weight, maybe having a like. I don't know, more room in the pants would be one of the checklists. I don't know, brighter skin and so on. So having this kind of a little bit of a structured way of looking through yourself. So you have like an internal checklist for yourself, what is improving. And of course, just focusing on to the positives of what is improving within the checklist could also help.
I, I will add one thing to that, because this is we spoke about that before, Nora. Remember when we did our talk about the journaling, and I 100% agree with the journal, because I do that myself. I actually, after a workout, I write down what I did for a workout, and I write down how I felt. If I felt tired, if I felt my legs hurt, whatever, so that when I come back to this workout and look how I felt on that day, I know what I felt. So also with the food, you write down what you've eaten and how did it feel. If you want to, I mean, if you want to, like you, Nora said, you can have a journal and to follow up with yourself.
And it
It's
doesn't have
definitely.
to be really exhaustive, like writing of pages on
No,
the
no, no,
pages. It can be very
no, no,
simple
no.
bullet points of
Yes,
a minute or 2 minutes of a general feedback for yourself. And maybe it doesn't
yes,
make sense on that day, but my experiences, and also for some of my clients' experiences, like looking back, weeks and months and years, it starts making sense. You start connecting the dots. This was what's happening for me, and this is my journey, and this is how it happened, which is a very also sometimes very satisfying uh, process.
absolutely.
Okay, if do we have any other questions coming in? Anything we haven't answered? I know we are just hitting 10 minutes over the hour or 15. So if nobody has any questions, then we are going to go into the closing of today. While you're thinking or typing a question, um, I'm going to tell you that Ritta and me, we are more than open to do this collaboration of Wellbeing Brunching again. So if you have any questions that, or maybe something pops up, after we close, or maybe something tomorrow or a week after, please don't hesitate. My contact details, and then I also will include contact details of Rita in the following up email with a link to recording. So you can definitely contact both of us and tell us the feedback, how it felt for you, and maybe some aha moments that came after we close. So we are more than happy to hear, and we are more than happy to do, specific topics if there was something not enough on the sports and performance, or something more about the fasting, and or something more about any of these topics that concerns plant-based living. We can do it again one of the Saturdays. We are going to do many of them, hopefully. Yeah. Before we close completely, I'm just going to tell you some of the details that your email addresses are registered for the list of well-being updates. You can unsubscribe of that list at any time. It's just I want to warn you that you are going to be receiving not to miss out of any well-being updates. I promise there is going to be no spam, and you are going to receive just a couple emails in the month. If you have, let me see, I'm going to check if there is any.
Maria, I think Maria asked something.
Maria.
Oh,
Yes.
am I unmuted? I was just going, I'm trying to work out what my question was now. I think I was just going to ask really, have you noticed, so I'm 48 now, and I feel pretty good, and I've had a vegan diet for, I think I stopped eating meat when I was about 12, and then it's been, so it's been a long time, but I'm feeling, I think I'm perimenopausal, but I feel quite good, apart from getting a bit hot sometimes. And I suppose I'm hearing from a lot of my friends, oh, it's not going to be an easy ride, but I feel okay. I'm just asking, has that been your experience, Rita? Have you had?
Let me tell you my experience, because my experience has been quite interesting.
Yeah.
I have been told by everyone that you need to have, you need to take pills, you need to do this, you need to do that. I didn't feel anything. It just stopped. I got menopause, didn't feel anything. I just hit menopause for 12 months, didn't have it. It's done. Didn't have any symptoms, didn't have anything. Then I was in a relationship a toxic relationship for a short period of time, I was stressed beyond stressed. 2 months. In these 2 months, I had every single menopausal symptom, every single one. And I didn't know what was happening to me. And I was going nuts. So out of this relationship, within 6 weeks, getting my stress down. So just to tell you that it's not only the food, people tell you that because they have a lot of stress in their lives. I brought the stress down, fixed my diet again, fixed my life again, and all the symptoms disappeared. All the symptoms disappeared within 2-3 months. Done. And that's why I say I believe in what I'm talking about. I have lived it. I have lived it. And the only symptoms I have now is not. I don't have hot flashes. I don't have any. I just have a, like, I think I'm someone. I don't know if it's even a menopausal thing because I have some sweats sometimes, but they're very rare. And I don't know if it is from the menopause. And I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. I'm happy to talk about it, to let women know that you can do it and you can be. And you know what? Many of the people around me, like the friends around me who I know, who are menopausal and are not taking any hormones, are also, I have like 2-3 friends around me who are not taking any hormones and don't have any symptoms, and they're eating healthy. They're vegans as well. They eat healthy. Not only vegan. I don't like to only say vegan, but they're healthy eaters, right? Like they're healthy eaters. So yes, I totally agree.
Good news.
Yes, and thank you, Maria. And also, if I could just add to it, it's not also about menopause, about any type of hormonal
Yes,
balance. It's important
yes,
for anything, and also the psychological and mental well-being plays a big role
it's all
within
linked together.
any
Absolutely.
hormone balance.
Absolutely. It's all linked together. Absolutely.
Great. I see that so far there are no any other questions coming in. So as I mentioned before, you can still drop me questions in the email. So just send them through, and then depending on the interest, we might do it again with Ritta sometime soon. Other than that, from here, I'm wishing you an amazing weekend. And please post us. How is it going for you? So just as checking.
Thank you
Yes,
so much for coming. Thank you for having me, Monora, and thank you everyone for giving us the chance to share what we know. Like I'm really like I love sharing because we and Nora as well. We want to let people know that they can live healthy.
And also, just because it's recording, I'm going to stop the recording, but we are, me and Ritta, we are still going to hang out with you. If you have any questions to ask, anything has popped out. I'm just going to stop the recording now.